Alrighty, folks, Reloading Bench back with you with another segment on 416 Barrett Brass cleaning. So this will be a perfect example of how grody this particular brass is. We're going to take the Hornady Tumbler TBL 100. I don't know if this is current. I got this years ago, and I still have my Tumbler's Tumbler. But this is a little, I'm not going to say nicer, just it's different. It does the trick. It's pretty heavy duty. So we will fill our container up with some warm water. I'll put a shot of Dawn, and I'll put probably a teaspoon of Lemmy Shine in, and then we'll see what this brass looks like when it's done. Hopefully it will look very nice. I have two types of pins. I have dull, and for those of you who are wondering what the heck dull means, it means just that. They are kind of dull looking. I don't know why. I don't remember. Oh, I already lost a pin. Oh, there it went. I do not remember. And then I have shiny. And I've used these before because I made video about drying them. So I think I will use shiny today. I don't know how many I will put in because. So I'll fill this up, put some of that in, put some of this in, and then probably do this for an hour or so. Back in a bit. All right, so I've got about a third of this filled with water, a shot of Dawn dish soap, and about a teaspoon of Lemmy Shine. And this is one old. I think it's time to replace this. If this will even, well, this is so old and the little pieces are falling off. Okay, so we are going to cut this. This will never go on here again. Stuff just gets old. All right, so we'll plug this in before we play with all the water. Make sure, well, we got, it is off. And I think when you click start, you just do up, down for time. And like I said, do it for about an hour. I don't know how much of these pins I'm going to put in. Maybe that much, which is, we're going to call that probably half this thing. I don't know if we need more. Again, I'm not really a big fan of wet tumbling. I'm just doing this for funsies. All right, let's, hopefully that will let us get a nice tight water seal. I always worry about water and fire. Let's see if we have a seal. And now that I'm checking my seal, I realize what a dumbass I am. Because the only thing we'd be cleaning right now is a bunch of nothingness, because we didn't put our brass in. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's try that again. Getting old sucks. All right. And hands a little wet. Let's make sure that there's no visible water. Of course, the camera's in the way. Okay. Not seeing anything there, and I can't remember which way that goes. This goes to the outside. Okie dokie. Start. Let's do 8, 7, an hour. I think that's an hour. Hopefully that will go to 59 in a minute. Let's see, does that go to 59? Come on, 59. And then I'll turn you off and we'll come back in an hour-ish. We're not talking a huge amount of brass here either. $59, $59, come on, give me 59. I don't have my watch on with me right now. Let me check my phone. There we go. There's my 59. All right, back in an hour. All right, we're at 0. It's been an hour. I also put down, because I saw wetness coming out of here. Not necessarily out of here, but out of here, which I thought was kind of interesting. You can even see the bubbles. So I'll have to look at maybe a rubber grommet seal for that. But, you know, in terms of water, nothing heavy duty. Yeah, there's a little bit of water. My tumbler never leaked. This thing gets hot. Freaking hot. Hotty hotty. All right. Let's pull out. Whoa. Whoopsie. That sucks. That's gone forever. Oh yeah. That's a goner. Didn't realize what I was doing there. Oh yeah. Doofus. Okay, so there will be some additional pieces that I will gather out of here. Oh yeah, there's this piece. So next time, be a little more careful on how I on whatever. Wow, that looks beautiful. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That doesn't look so great in there. Let me yeah, that's freaking gorgeous. Let me take a little. I'm gonna assume this will get clean. Let's do a little wipey wipe there. Not bad. Maybe if I used some more pocket's not as clean as I would have preferred, but yeah, that is freaking gorgeous. All right, so what I will do is take this in the sink. And use my screen, my mesh, and dump all this stuff out into the sink and hopefully not lose any pins. Back in a minute. This is exactly why I'm not the biggest fan of wet tumbling, because there's drips everywhere. I want to get it out of the kitchen because I don't like having the pins around the sink. So let me move this out of the way. This is so hot. Whoops, I think some pinnage. Again, another reason why I'm not the biggest wet tumbling fan. Just the pins get everywhere. I don't care how diligent you are. That one looks a little better. Well, that pocket's not so bad. Got a pin stuck in there. I was thinking about, again, not bad. I was thinking about picking up, they've got like little ball shapes, more different shaped pins. So I think they're called jeweler's pins. Again, not bad. I mean, the brass looks gorgeous. Nice. Yep. Make sure we don't have any pins sticking. Again, yeah, the brass is looking, let me find yet another towel. All right, the brass is looking absolutely fantastical. And of course that has to roll under the bench as far as humanly possible. Yeah, that looks like a new brass. There's no arguing the results with the wet tumbling. There just isn't. Sorry. Again, this was a squirt of a squirt of Dawn dishwashing fluid, the blue stuff. Teaspoon-ish. Let's see if I can find that mark here. Whew, that's my exercise for today. Teaspoon of Lemmy Shine. A third of a whatever size this is. And I've got my wet rag in there right now to dry that out. Wet. I'm seeing a pin here. Again, this is the only downside. The chasing pins, not the biggest fan of chasing pins. I'll do a light dry of this, meaning just enough to soak up the water-ish, and then that will set off to the side to dry. Lemmy Shine goes away. Here's my, I think this needs a new washer. What else? What else did I lose in here? Pin. All right, so let's see what doesn't make sense here. Okay, so we've got this. This is the top. I don't know if I still have water. I do. Probably best to pour apart to dry fully. Wet. Very pliable still. Again, I've had this for a few years. I'm not sure which way is that pin. That looks identical. Obviously, this seals here like that. I think I'll put a rubber washer. Get a rubber washer for that. I'll have to look at my video and see if that's exactly what it looked like in reverse. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I'll leave that loose enough to let the air dry. All right, now the fun part. I've done this before, and that is to set my pins. And let's see, did I get all my pins? Looks like it. Yeah, see, they're escaping. They're trying to escape. Actually, you know what? Instead of me trying to pick pins up, and I will set this off to the side to dry in the garage overnight. And since it's another almost triple-digit day, it will dry. And I have the large Frankfurt Arsenal version of this, but the fact that I'm just trying to catch errant pins on the bench, we'll use the small one. No reason. Jeez. They just want to go everywhere. They want to go everywhere. Wow. I maybe have a hole in here somewhere. Thank goodness for a magnet. Again, this is why I'm not the biggest pins fan. They seem to get everywhere. This isn't super wet. Let's see how many go a-flying. Yeah, that is wet. That towel is wetty wet. And we've got one right there. Handful right there. Some right there. I'm sure somebody's going to critique my pin drying. All right. Set that off to the side. Once those are dry, they'll go back in here. Again, those stayed shiny as compared to the dull pins. I don't honestly remember what happened with the dull pins years ago. And I believe this is... Let's see if that, we got something going on there. We'll call that nice as compared to, less nice. I don't think I had a another tool like the Lee large pocket primer cleaner, whatever it was called. All right, we're not going to worry about those because those are reasonably goodish. This brass looks fantastico. I see a little less roundness there. I wonder if that happened because of the banging around. All right, so we are going to say, now there's my lacquered piece of brass. So let me grab an old piece of brass. I'm just looking to see if I have, no, that's chamfer and deburr, and that will come later after we trim. All right, so this kit goes away for a while. These are front and center. That's just plastic, so that's not wetness. The wetness of the pins will be right there. I'll leave it on the rubber. I'll take this out to dry, and let me grab a before. All right. So I won't grab that one because that's probably the dirtiest. Let me just grab this. Nice. Beautiful. Hopefully the camera's picking up the difference. This looks hella brand new. Again, full-length resize decap. And we will trim, chamfer, and deburr. So good stuff. That's it for a while.